Hello everyone. So this is the 8th session of the Advances in Food Analysis, and the topic which we'll be covering today is fluorescence spectroscopy. Okay, so starting with the luminescence and the nature of light. A hot body that emits radiation solely because of the high temperature is said to exhibit incandescence. All other forms of light emissions are called as luminescence. When luminescence occurs, the system loses energy, and if the emission is to be continuous, some form of energy must be supplied from elsewhere. Thus, the radioluminescence emitted from a luminous clock phase supply is supplied by high energy particles from the radioactive material in the phosphor, and the electroluminescence of the gas discharge lamp is derived from the passage of an electric current through an ionized gas. Other such phenomena include chemiluminescence derived from the energy of the chemical reaction, and this is called bioluminescence when the reaction takes place within living organisms, for example glowworms and fireflies. When the external energy supplied by means of an absorption of infrared, visible or ultraviolet light, the emitted light is called as photoluminescence, and this is then this process that takes place in any fluorimetric analysis. To account adequately for the process of absorption and emission of light, it is necessary to assume that radiant energy can only be absorbed in definite units or quanta. The energy E carried by any one quantum is proportional to the frequency of oscillation, that is E is equal to h nu is equal to h c ergs, where nu is the frequency, lambda is the relative wavelength, and h is the Planck's constant. The energy of a single quantum is too small for convenience and is usually to talk of the energy associated with n quanta, where n is equal to 6.023 into 10 to the power 23, the number of single molecules in a gram molecule. Thus, if a photochemical reaction, one molecule reacts for each quantum absorbed, and the absorption of 1 Einstein is sufficient energy for the reaction of 1 gram molecule. Since the amount of energy per Einstein is proportional to the frequency of radiation, it varies enormously over range of the electromagnetic spectrum. Now, what is quantum efficiency? The ultraviolet and the visible regions of the spectrum are the most interested in the fluorimetry, and absorption in these regions cause the excitation of the outermost electrons of the molecule. The energy associated with the radiation of this frequency is quite high, around 100 kilogram calories per Einstein, and is sometimes sufficient to break down the absorbing molecules, as for instance with the fading of dyes by the action of sunlight. The absorption of light results in the formation of excited molecules, which can in turn dissipate their energy by decomposition. The place is called as quantum efficiency, and in case of photoluminescence can be defined as phi E is equal to Einstein's emitted or upon Einstein's absorbed, or phi E is equal to number of quanta emitted upon number of quanta absorbed. Fluorescence. Now this is the Jablonski diagram where the electrons or the atoms excite from the ground state and reaches to the excited singlet state. Transition to various energy levels. One transition that from the lowest vibrational level is the ground state to the lowest vibrational level in the first excited state. The 0-0 transition is common to both the absorption and the emission phenomena, whereas all other absorption transition require more energy than any transition in the fluorescence emission. We can therefore expect the emission spectrum to overlap the absorption spectrum at the wavelength corresponding to 0-0 transmission, and the rest of the emission spectrum to be lower energy at the lower wavelength. The absorption of energy to produce the first excited state does not perturb the shape of the molecule greatly, and this means that the distribution of vibrational levels is very similar in both the grounds and first excited state. The energy difference between the bands in the emission spectra will be similar to those in the absorption spectra, and the frequently the emission spectrum will be approximate to the mirror image of the absorption spectrum. Since the emission of fluorescence always takes place from the lowest vibrational level of the first excited state, the shape of the emission spectrum is always the same, despite changing the wavelength of the excited light. A plot of emission against wavelength for any given excitation wavelength is known as emission spectrum. Phosphorescence. In the production of excited state by promotion of an electron into higher orbital, the direction of the spin of the electron is preserved. Since most molecules have an even number of electrons and these are normally arranged in pairs of opposite spin, the promotion of an electron does not disturb this parity. However, it is possible for the spin of the promoted electron to be reversed so that it no longer paired and the molecule has two independent electrons with the same spin in different orbitals. Direct transition from the ground state, usually a singlet state from a molecule with an even number of electrons to an excited state, which means that a reverse transition from triplet to the ground state will be difficult. Okay, emission from T1 is called as phosphorescence. The triplet state of the molecule has a lower energy than associated singlet state, so that the transition back to the ground state are accompanied with the emission of light of lower energy than from the singlet state. The Jablonski diagram. Since molecules occupy triplet state for relatively longer period, they can easily lose their energy by means other than phosphorescence. They are very susceptible to collisions with solvent molecules. Solute molecules with unpaired electrons such as oxygen are very effective at destroying triplet state even at low concentration. Therefore, phosphorescence in solution at room temperature is a very rare phenomenon, but by dispersing the sample in a rigid matrix or freezing the solution to a low temperature, it can be observed from many compounds. That's all for this session. Thank you.